guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Board Report. Hope you guys are doing really well. Hope you're staying healthy and safe and all that. For today's show, we have, the usual movie day, see the other day. We're going to change it up a little bit with a game. Hopefully we'll see if that goes well. And an interview with Mr. I. So Ryan, we're going to change it up this week. So Ryan, what movie do you have for us today?
I'm doing a movie this week, and I've got a Netflix documentary. Came out in 2019. We've got Miles Davis, Birth of the Cool. This is a really great documentary. It goes through his whole life and his career. It has a lot of insight into his creative process for those that might be interested in that. A fun fact about him is he'd go into the studio. He'd just take an idea, start recording, and he'd take that one take and make it a CD. And he put out a lot of CDs that way, and it's pretty cool. He had a lot of different creative stages in his life, and it goes into all of them, as well as the struggles that he faced and how he overcame them. It's a great watch, and if you've ever heard the name Miles Davis, you should check it out.
Absolutely. Miles Davis is, if not the most influential figures in jazz. What did it talk about? It's just mainly Birth of the Cool, or just go through all of the albums?
It goes through every album pretty much. It's insane. It's a great watch, and you've got to watch.
Really, absolutely. Miles Davis is amazing. If you haven't listened to him, I highly recommend it. Like, he's hands down one exactly. You should check out
this album a lot too. Kind of Blue.
Mm-hmm. Well, on the subject of jazz and music, with my CD of this week, or of the day, I should say, I'm coming with you with Christian Scott's Stretch Music with Alina Pinderhughes. Stretch Music, yeah. Stretch Music is a album Christian Scott composed to really stretch the definition of jazz. He takes, hip-hop beats, Latin rhythms, African rhythms, and really incorporates it, not to completely, change the definition of jazz, but really just stretch it to its limits. He keeps the jazz rhythms, the melodic and harmonic conventions of it, and just stretches it to its, limits. And it's just so amazing about just what he could do with all this. Some awesome hits, Sunrise in Beijing, with Alina Pinderhughes, as well as Liberation Over Gangsterism, and Perspectives. The entire album is just very wish-washy, and the big thing, I think, the biggest takeaway I got from it is the percussion. The percussion in the entire album is downright insane and just so pristine and precise. So for all the percussionists watching it, I highly recommend this album. Exactly.
Band reminders this week, just make sure you check Schoology every day. It's really important, please. From Major Info and clinics are going to be starting this week. Look out for that. Mm-hmm. I've heard a couple of people are auditioning for it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out.
Along with coming up drum major auditions and clinics and all that, section leader interviews are coming up soon. More info on that is coming up soon on Schoology, as well as senior bios. Senior bios are coming out very, very soon. More updates on Schoology to come.
All right. We are going to be popping on over to Sean here. He's got a couple things in store for us. He should be here any second. How's it going, Sean?
Going pretty good. I thought a good way to start off would be a game called the Newlyweds Game. The whole purpose of the game is I'll just give you an example. I say a question like, how are you doing today? Or how do you think this person's feeling at this moment? I say that to Ryan. Ryan has to guess how Jeff is feeling at this moment. And so Jeff writes an answer down. Ryan writes an answer down. If they both have the same answer, Ryan gets a point. If they don't, the question gets sent to Jeff.
Oh, jeez. Okay. This is tough.
Good?
We got this.
All right.
Okay. First question. Where was the first time you met each other?
Do you know where Jeff and I first met? Because I don't know if we really know.
Oh no, dude! I have no idea. All of these questions, man. I don't even know what the answer is.
Okay,
So,
perfect. Great.
Jeff, do you have an answer?
I do.
Ryan, do you have an answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, first we'll see Ryan's answer.
It's Bandcamp backwards.
Jeff?
I had symphonic band.
He said 2 years. He said, wait, no, 1 year. Okay, I see how it is. That's fine. That's fine.
Rough start. Jeff, this is for you to just show who is a better friend in this situation. Second question. What is each other's favorite sport or activity? Sorry, what is Ryan's favorite sport / activity?
I don't know the answer to this one, man.
Yeah, don't worry. I got it.
All right, I think I got it.
Okay, Ryan, do you have an answer?
Yes.
Okay. Jeff, let's see your answer first.
Swim.
Swim.
And biking.
Oh, man, the scoreboard's looking quite blank with a score of 0. So, I mean, at least you're tied. Third question goes to Ryan. If Jeff were to have a superpower, what would it be?
I have to put myself in his brain.
I mean, that is the objective, yes.
The process for my thinking is to think of it slower.
Wow. Wow. How would you describe yourself with one word? Or how would you describe Jeff in one word? And then Jeff, how would you describe yourself?
Okay. I describe myself.
Say it out loud. Help me out.
Just private message on Zoom the answer.
One word. Wow.
One word.
This one is going to make my grandparents question me. I'm ready.
Jeff, may we see your answer?
I put outgoing? Question mark? I'll put
Okay, this is a hard-hitting question for Jeff. Okay, because I had to give you an easy one, to make it look like my questions are somewhat good. If you were to pick one section, or if Ryan was to pick one section besides his own to join, and it could be for the people, it could be for the instrument, what would it be? I mean, I think the answer is obvious. Let us hear it.
We've got tubas with an incorrect.
Thank you. Oh man, I mean, you picked the right choice, obviously.
Did you put down clarinet?
who, me?
Yeah.
Show your answer. Okay.
Oh, the audacity.
No offense to clarinets. Just.
Yeah.
I'll give you a full point because that answer was correct. I would have picked that as well.
I'm getting a point.
You're getting a point.
It wasn't even my turn. All right. Okay.
There's no bias, though. There's no bias. Everything has been judged by a third party.
That's okay. Cool.
Being me.
All right.
Okay, Ryan.
Sean.
Is the board report looking for any new applicants at this moment?
I say I'm going to big fat yes.
Okay, Ryan.
I have a bigger, fatter yes with exclamation points.
You see, but the distance from it's like Jeff has YES,
It could be yay. He could be referring to.
It could be like yay. It has so many different, varieties.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Jeff truly gets the point in that sense. You went for the basic 3 exclamation points. Moving on to the Easter trivia. We're going to start off with easy true or false, okay? Number 1. The most popular American Easter candy is a chocolate bunny.
I'm ready.
That's the question?
Yes. True or false?
I think
It's too late, Ryan. It's too late, Ryan. Jeff, answer.
I put false.
That is correct. And You know what, Ryan, just for you, I'll clear the slates. So we'll do 0-0. I mean, obviously, Jeff's leading with 1 point, but
Whatever you want to do. I don't mind.
to end of this segment, we're doing a winner-takes-all, final question, multiple choice. Still on Easter. The idea of the Easter Bunny was originated in the 1700s. In what country? A, Russia, B, United States, C, Germany, or D, Great Britain? And same principle, click on the clap emoji if you want to answer. Ryan has got it first.
I'm covered in soap. Great Britain.
Incorrect. Jeff, this is your chance to win it all.
I'm going to say Germany.
And he wins it at a score of 255 to 0.5. Jeff blows out the competition.
I don't know.
Well, thank you guys for answering the questions. Much appreciated.
Make sure that you don't come back, all right, Sean? Have a good rest of your day, buddy.
You as well. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, we found out a lot about Jeff, including that he didn't know that I existed freshman year, which is only painful. It's only deeply painful.
Oh, no. All right. In my defense, I thought you were pretty cool guy. You're playing Undertow in symphonic band, and that's where I really wanted to meet you.
Hey guys.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. What's going on? How have you been spending your time in quarantine?
Oh, just being around here. I've been listening to the podcast. I'm a big fan. Been listening since the beginning.
Thank you.
So,
Number one.
Some good stuff today. We just did a version of the Newlyweds game with Sean as the host.
I can imagine that that was something.
Yeah, it was something. That's a good way to put it.
I look forward to seeing that.
Oh, it's going to be wonderful. We just wanted to talk a little bit. Not many people know too much about you besides the band director gig, We just wanted to talk a little bit about your time growing up. And when you were growing up, did you have a musical household, would you say?
I did not. I had a keyboard growing up that me and my best friend who lived across the street, we would play around with. But really, other than that, my aunt played alto clarinet, in high school. And my dad played percussion, I think right up to the beginning of high school, and then he stopped.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really.
When you were growing up, did you have a favorite band or a favorite musician of any sort that you just absolutely adored?
That's a good question. When I was really when I was in elementary school, not so much. I think I started really getting into more individual musicians and bands and such once I actually started getting more involved in school music. And playing, I started on clarinet and then playing saxophone after that. I started getting into more saxophone, Cannonball Adderley was a big influence on me as a kid. Charlie Parker too, of course. So yeah.
Yeah. When you were you said you started with clarinet. And
There you go. Love it.
So you said you started with clarinet, and I'm sure you went through the same process as we did when we were picking up instruments for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any other instruments that caught your eye other than clarinet?
When I was in, was that fourth grade or fifth grade? Because I grew up in Schaumburg, so it was a very, very similar process as a lot of you guys went through. So when I was picking for fifth grade, it was only clarinet, because I did recorder in fourth grade and I liked recorder, and I looked at clarinet. I'm that looks pretty much the same. It'll be an easy transition. And that was literally my whole thought process. I did not play any of the other instruments. I'd never played clarinet before. I remember when I first got my clarinet, over the summer, I tried to put it together myself, and I put the mouthpiece on and I put the reed on top. So it was top teeth, it was a mess. But yeah, no, clarinet was my thing. When I was in junior high and I ended up switching, I originally thought I wanted to play bass clarinet. because I thought that was the coolest instrument ever. And it is, don't get me wrong, bass clarinet players, it's a great instrument. But I really thought that's what I was going to do. And then I tried the alto sax, and that seemed like a better fit. And, Mr. Gear was my band director at the time. He said, like, no, that's the fit for you. And it turned out okay, I think.
Yeah, and so talking about Mr. Gear and like middle school and all that, what happened in middle school that made you want to continue going on to high school, like band or music or in general?
Yeah, I got really interested, I'd say in junior high, and then definitely in high school. I really got into music just because I thought it was so cool, like in a band setting, that you can all come together to create something so powerful and so expressive. And like I started getting glimpses of that, like as a young musician. I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like there's something like really powerful here. So then I just kept wanting to continue, and like, yeah, I'm gonna give high school band a try. And then, as I got older, I'm like, no, this is something that I want to keep going with and help others experience too.
Yeah.
Since you went to Schaumburg too, and it's a much different school now than it must have been back, was it 30, 40, 50 years ago?
60 now, yeah.
Oh, I wasn't sure just to get, but did you have like a favorite class and teacher in your time there?
Oh gosh, I really, I don't know how to word this. Like, I really enjoy like the process of learning, which sounds kind of hokey, but it's 100% true. Like I enjoyed a lot of classes in high school. I was a pretty big math science person in high school, in addition to music. So like I was really into like math and physics and that kind of stuff too, as well as, like English and social studies I found really interesting as well. Hard to pick a favorite class, but I'd probably say like math, or like eventually, like when I got to senior year, economics was really interesting to me.
And you said you were really into like education when you're in high school. Were you an intern at all?
I was not an intern. No, I was not an intern. I didn't have room in my schedule. But yeah, that would have been probably like the next thing if I would have had room.
I've heard through a person that you were in German with Mr. Graffio. Is that correct?
I was in German at the same time as Mr. Graffio. I don't think we were ever in the same class.
How did you guys meet in high school?
We had a pretty large friend group. I would say like by like my junior year, there was like a core group of bandos that was probably like 20 plus. Who were in this group, and we would hang out a lot like on Friday and Saturday nights at different people's houses, after pep band games, after marching band events, all of that. And we were in the same group there. So we hung out actually a good deal in high school, like in that larger group, and sometimes in smaller groups too. And then we actually didn't really talk very much in college at all. I ran into him when I think I had just finished student teaching, or it was maybe the year or two after, when I was down at University of Illinois, when I was working with another band, and we ran into each other, talked a bit, and then the next time I really saw him was when he was applying for the job at Schaumburg.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So like going back to like your friend group and just like band in general, while you were in band, what was your probably like the story that pops out when you're in band?
We had many stories, and that's the great thing about band too. Like there's so many memories, like so many like silly things that happen, so many like powerful musical moments, whether it was in a performance or just in a rehearsal. There's like memories from like when we would go to NIU Band Day, or like concert performances, or like when we went to festivals. The Chicagoland Invitational, we did not go to when I was in high school, but we went to the IHSA version of that. And I remember, just the memories that we made there. Like we were at IMSA, and there was like a life-size chessboard, and we like played chess like right after we had performed, like with us in place of the pieces. It was pretty funny. And then, just the performances too. Absolutely. There's some really special memories of, whether it was playing, like for me as a saxophonist, or I was a drum major my junior and senior year, so like the conducting aspect of that too, like some just really great memories from making music together with people.
Yeah. And so after high school, where did you go to college?
So I did my undergrad at Northwestern, and I was actually a double major to start. I was instrumental music ed and economics, which I don't know how many people know that about me. Yes, it's true. And I was really interested in both. And but the more that I got into the coursework at Northwestern, especially, like my heart had always been in music, and I realized this was something I wanted to really dive into. So then I really just focused in on instrumental music ed when I got there.
That's really cool. Yeah. So we've talked about a favorite high school memory. Could you give us a favorite college memory, like college and band?
Oh gosh, yeah. So in college, I did a bunch of different things. Like as a music major, I was involved, with the saxophone studio and all the concert ensembles, saxophone quartet, all of that. We had some great memories with that. Like our saxophone quartet went and performed in Washington, D.C. for the Navy Band Symposium. That was a really cool thing. Then I was also involved with the marching band. So I played saxophone for 2 years in that, and then I also played mellophone for my junior and senior year. So some great memories there. College marching band is just like it's a crazy, amazing experience, and just to be a part of the energy on a college game day, and just there's so many great opportunities that you have in a college marching band. We traveled twice when I was in the band. We went to 2 bowl games, one in El Paso and one in San Antonio. So some great memories just from those trips, and a lot of friends who I still keep in touch with, from that.
That's really neat.
Wow. And so earlier you said you're part of like a saxophone. Was it saxophone class? Saxophone. I forgot what the word was. It's
Number.
studio saxophone. Yeah. And so we know you studied with Dr. Frederick Hemke. How is he like? He's like amazing, astounding. How is he like? And how is
He was an amazing teacher. I learned so much from him. He was kind of legendary in the saxophone world. He studied in France. He was the first American saxophonist to win the Premier Prix at the Paris Conservatory. Just an amazing saxophonist and teacher. So I got to study with him for 4 years, which was incredible. I learned so much about music making, about life, just from him. It was great. And just being around the studio that he created. He was at Northwestern for, I believe it was 50 years. Yeah, or actually even more. Let's see. I'm at my desk in my office, and when he retired, he had these coins made for everyone who was a former saxophone studio member, and this was commemorating his 50 years at Northwestern, and just the influence that he had. Like he really helped shape the classical saxophone world. So you definitely learned a lot. He's a great man. He actually just passed away last year. So we had an opportunity last June to get together with a lot of alumni from Northwestern and talk about his legacy. It was really special. So
that's awesome. Yeah, and like I can only imagine just like it's almost like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Just his study with like just amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, when I was admitted to Northwestern, I knew like that's where I have to go. I have to spend time with him because he was so legendary. And a lot of the things that I like carry with me in terms of like even band directorisms and things that I do in my teaching are directly from him that I don't even realize. But definitely had a big effect on me.
So moving on to after college, how did you get your first job as a band director, and where was that at?
So I had been searching for jobs and applying, and that year it was a very tight year to get positions in the music ed world because they can be kind of few and far between. And that year in particular was the summer of 2009. It was very tight. So I had applied for jobs. I had been a finalist for a few, And then the summer kind of kept going on, and as the summer went on, my range of jobs that I was looking for kept getting larger and larger, geographically as well as in terms of what the jobs would entail. So I had found a job kind of on a whim online in DeKalb, and I saw that the posting was kind of old. So I called the school. I was like, are you still taking interviews? And then the secretary asked the principal, I could hear her. It's like, are we still taking interviews for that job? Like, yes. He's like, yeah, just get it in as soon as you can. So it was like a Friday. I hung up. Monday, I get a call. It was 11 o'clock. Like, can you be here at 3 for an interview? So long story short, I got hired a week before school started in DeKalb, Illinois. So I taught at Clinton Rosette Middle School, which is a 6, 7, 8 building in DeKalb. It's actually literally about 3 blocks away from IU. And that was my first job there. Yeah, I taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade band and lessons all in one building.
Jeez. Wow. And so with you being hired by a week out, what were you I'm sure you nervous, anxious. What were your first thoughts?
There was a lot of internal screaming, not screaming, panic, but what is happening. So I remember I started making a list of all my different questions. It's typed up, it's probably on my computer somewhere still, and it was just pages and pages. So we had orientation that I would go to during the day, and then I was very fortunate actually that the director at DeKalb High School was in my position a few years prior. He wasn't my immediate predecessor, but he had been in that building. So I talked with him a lot and got a lot of his thoughts just on the community and what the program was about. Because it was a pretty different program than what's even around in Schaumburg right now. We had a middle school marching band.
Wow.
We had just being a 6, 7, 8 building. We actually started in 6th grade, but then we had weekly lessons and band every day starting in 6th grade. So it's just a different setup. So just talking with him about that. We started every instrument except bassoon. I started every instrument right from the first day in 6th grade. So just kind of getting used to that, asking a lot of questions, with my fellow teachers about what the community is like and all that.
Wow. And so I know the band did really, really well while you were there. They played the Frank Tikelli piece that we just played, Abracadabra, I think or I forget. Yeah,
we did.
And so what? How did you get the band to such a very highly skilled, or not even skilled, but just a high level?
There's really no secret. Honestly, it was a lot of hard work. Those kids really worked hard and just loved music too. So the way that our structure was set up, actually 7th and 8th grade band, while the 7th graders were in lunch was when the 8th grade band met, and then vice versa. So we would actually have a number of 6th or 7th and 8th graders who would play in the opposite band, on a secondary instrument, or some of the 7th grade, the advanced 7th graders would play with the 8th grade band. And it just kind of created this really great culture, people who you just wanted to, keep playing and help each other out. So it was, they worked really hard. We did solo and ensemble. Actually, 6th graders, I think, had the option to do it, and then all 7th and 8th graders did it. And then all 7th and 8th graders were also part of our marching band. I don't know why I use quotes. It was a marching band. We did a parade, and we did actually several parades. We had probably 4 or 5 different performances throughout the year. So there was just a lot involved with it, and they worked hard but really enjoyed it at the same time. And yeah, it was a good time. I keep them in my memories too, actually. So behind my desk here, when I left, the 8th graders gave me this plaque. So it was pretty cool. And all of them, I think the youngest kids that I had when I was there are now, I think they're juniors in college. So they've grown up. They're doing some great things. I'm in touch with a good number of them still.
Wow, that's really cool. Wow. So coming back to Schaumburg, how is that like?
So I taught in DeKalb for 2 years, and then I applied for the band director job at Schaumburg, and it's like, it would be a great thing. I really enjoyed what I was doing in DeKalb, but I thought, like, this could be a cool opportunity too. So I applied for it. Luckily, I was selected for it, and it was great. I returned to the school where I went. It was weird. It took a while. There's still some teachers who I don't call by their first names, or like uncomfortably call by their first names. But it was a great thing. I got to work with Mr. Miller, who was one of my high school band directors for 3 years before he retired. That kind of helped our transition into the program that we have now.
And so, your biggest takeaway from the whole band, from being a band director and as a teacher as well, what's your biggest takeaway?
Biggest takeaway, like things that I've learned. I would say, there's two things. Like, number one, like it's about the people. Like, we teach people, and we teach life. We teach all these character elements, and all these things that you take out with you to the world through music. So it's really about the people there, and also that it's you're always continuing to learn. Like, as a teacher, I learn every day, and I learn from you guys as students. I learn from my colleagues, and just try to take advantage of every opportunity. And I think that's another great lesson that anyone can carry, is to take advantage of all those opportunities, because you never know, like, how that's going to continue to benefit you in the future and make you into the person that you are.
Absolutely. It's just funny because like, on the subject of that, I had when I went to Birch Creek, the final meeting we had before we left, it was like, the ultimate goal is becoming great people. The means is music. So I was like, that was really cool, and it kind of like, that's it's very, very true to especially the band we have right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we're gonna wrap it up here. But do you have anything to say to the band directly? Just anything you have on mind, or just anything to the band?
So, definitely we miss you guys. I miss you guys. And I miss being able to make music, with you guys on a daily basis. It's definitely been a void here. But this is temporary, and we're looking forward to being able to make music again, as soon as we can. So, keep playing, and keep positive. And we really look forward to seeing you guys soon. We're going to be doing some fun things over the next couple of weeks with e-learning and over Zoom. So look forward to seeing you then.
All right, thank you, Mr. I. Thank you for coming on, and we hope you have a good Easter.
Thank
you. You guys too. Thanks for having me, and see you guys later.
Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Bye.
All right, thanks for checking in. We will be having an interesting show coming up Wednesday, so stay tuned. I'm not going to give you any more details, but roles might be a bit reversed, to say the least, for that. But yeah, thanks for checking in. Make sure you like and subscribe. And before we just want to highlight some photos from the quarantine photo album. So we've got photo number 1 by Andrew, and then we have mystery photo number 2. You guys should keep adding so that I can keep doing this and flexing my arms. Thanks for checking this stuff out, guys. We appreciate it, and we hope that you guys are finding joy in watching Jeff and I be idiots. It's a lot of fun for us.
Yeah. And if you guys have any ideas, if you want to be on here, it could be very simple. It could be like something you could bake, a talent, a skill. Not to say that baking isn't a skill, but no. If you have anything, that's interesting, we'll take anybody, and for an interview, or a segment. So email us or talk to us directly. But yeah, Ryan, do you have anything else?
No, that's all. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Get back to e-learning. See you guys later.
From anyone. See ya.